hello. Once again, my Let's Talk family. I am Regina Smith with your host, and you are experiencing another beautiful episode of Let's Talk, the Business Spotlight Edition. And we are here to motivate, uplift, and empower our audience. And we have a beautiful spirit with us today, Julie Hilsen, and she's going to talk to us about a lot of things. So just pay attention. You're going to learn something today. So, Julie, thank you so much again for you coming on our platform this evening.
Regina, thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it. It's been great connecting and getting to know you.
Yes, it has been. And I have learned stuff already from her in our first conversation. So I'm so happy and blessed that we could bring this to the platform of Let's Talk. So let's go ahead and dig on in here. So tell me your why. Like, why are you doing all this? Why you have a book and why you have all the things you're doing?
Well, that's a great question. I always want to try to make the world a better place. And I was really, really bothered by some powerful negative things happening around me, and I was sensing it. And I was like, what do I know? What can I do? What's my power? And my power is my voice and words and my heart. I'm a highly sensitive person. I drive my husband crazy.
Care about everybody and everything.
I do. And I was like, well, how can I help? I mean, because there's some heavy stuff going on, and I don't want to focus on the negative. That's not me. So I was like, well, if I can share my sensitivity and my heart and teach people how to connect with their higher spirit, connect with their soul, right? Because we all have this soul purpose. So I was like, if I can express that kind of thing with people who are curious or people who are open to it, then I think I can make a big difference. And that's my why. I want to serve. Every day I ask the Lord, I say, God, use me to make this world a better place. Show me the highest good. And that's I try to do. I fall on my face. I'm not perfect. I am. I go through my things, but I try to regroup and just connect back to my soul. And that's my why. I just want to be a better person, and I want to share any gifts that the Lord's given me with anyone else who's willing and accepting and open to it. It's not always everyone's turn. Sometimes people have to be ready. I've definitely offended people. I wasn't trying to. You can tell when someone's not ready. They're out of there.
They leave you quick. They leave you quick, don't they?
They just take off, and that's okay. That's okay, because then I ask myself, what did I do? And sometimes it's nothing I did. It's just the way it is.
And a lot of times too, Julie, even though we think that we're not making an impact, we do drop little nuggets, right? So those little seeds are dropped. God always say, about the seeds, you just, and they will grow. They right at that moment, they don't know. And sometimes it takes years, or it'll take some kind of experience they'll go through. And they will remember that one thing you told them that correlates with what's going on, and they get it. So people, even though they don't seem like they're listening to, you, but they are, but they're not using it and utilizing it. But it will. That little seed will eventually grow. Because when you plant seeds, I had something told to me about 5 years before I decided to do what I needed to do. And it always played in my head, but I just didn't never act on it. So when I was awakening, it totally made so much sense then. And then I understood what she was saying, and I just ran with it. So it happens not on our time, but on his time. But he did put you there to do that. To drop that seed. That was your job. Now it may take 4 years for it to manifest, but it will. It will. So, but something that you had told me that stuck with me is about setting boundaries. To me, I think that's a big thing with people, setting boundaries and limitations on people. Can you talk about that a little bit? And what do you how you teach that?
Well, when you have a giving heart, people can tend to take advantage of it. So it all comes back to self-care and checking in on yourself. So if if everything's going fine and you're feeling in the situation, you're being recognized and you're getting what you need out of the situation, there's nothing to question. But every once in a while you're in a situation where you're like, this isn't working, and you might not be able to put your finger on it, but that hesitation or that feeling, like if anyone can tune into their stomach, to their gut, because your brain will try to tell you that you're making stuff up or that that's just you're being silly. Your brain will come up with reasons why you should stay in a situation that might not be healthy for you, but your gut and your heart, it won't let you. And it's okay if your gut tells you, hey, this isn't a good thing, and you still go ahead. Don't judge yourself on that, because you did know, you tested your limits, and then next time you'll listen. There's no reason to judge your action. It was perfect at that time, right? So It's all about tuning in, and it takes practice.
It's all about the journey. It's about the journey.
It's a journey. And as long as you're keeping your eye on where you want to be and how you want to feel, and you have your expectation for yourself to live from your heart, to live from a higher vibration, you're going to have your ups and downs, but if you can keep returning to your heart and your gut, that's going to lead you to what your soul purpose is, your highest good, because your brain's there to protect you, to, try to keep food on your table, to keep your shelter. Your brain's there for survival, right?
Right.
And so, and it's a good thing, we need our brain, but then sometimes it interferes with our ultimate joy. So it's finding that balance, right? I mean, it's a tricky thing. It's you gotta step back and find moments where you're not feeling pressured, so you can reflect. Taking that self-care. So I didn't really address your boundary thing. So boundaries are about your self-care. So, okay, for example, you have a 2-year-old and they're throwing a fit. And you're like, you can tell that child, stop it. You can punish them, you can send them in the corner, but you can say, I don't like it when you scream. It hurts my ears. And I'd rather color with you. I'd rather play race cars. Like, my boundary is, you're hurting my ears. Your tantrum is preventing me from having fun. Wouldn't you rather have fun with me than have a tantrum? I mean, that's just a basic.
And you're teaching them decision, and that's a decision you have to make. So you could form that in for an adult as well. Okay, so are you going to continue to complain about the situation, or are we going to go ahead and find out a plan and go ahead and get you out of this situation? Like, you can complain, but when you wake up, it's going to be the same situation unless you do something to change it, right?
Right, because if you slip into victim mode, or you slip into if you don't have any ownership of your situation and you're just having your fit, then you're not in a solution mode. You're in a reaction mode. You need to be in a response mode, right?
Right.
So if you can stop and take a deep breath and be like, okay, what's my boundary here? What could I share with this person so they can respect where I'm coming from? And if they choose not to respect what your boundary is, that's a huge sign.
A big sign.
So you being genuine and honest with, you're hurting my ears, or I'd rather be doing this with you. And it does, being really honest with somebody in a relationship, whatever, work, home, family, whatever it is, friends, being completely honest, it's raw and it takes practice. Like, when you hang up the phone on me and don't say I love you, that makes me feel like you don't care about me. And that person can choose to say I love you when they hang up, or they can choose not to, but there's your sign. There's your sign. There's your boundary. If your boundary is not respected, and if you brought it to someone from your heart and it's a sincere, genuine boundary and they don't respect it, there's your sign.
There's your sign. And sometimes the signs you may don't want to see or hear because you wanted to keep it the way it is. But a lot of times those things have to be removed for you to grow. Like they say, you got to, take the weeds out for the plants or the grass to grow. So you got to pluck those out, and that's how your growth come. So
Right.
many analogies of how, like, when you think about the world and how the earth is made and things that you do and do not do to make things happen, prosper, and grow. It's the same analogies in your life. Like, literally, you got to take the weeds out for things to grow. So you have examples all over this world or this planet on how to live your life. So like if you eat this and eat this stuff is good, you'll be healthier. If you eat, you put the wrong gas in your car, it will go wrong. Like, it's so much things. It's so easy. It's so simple, and we make things difficult and complex. So when you had said something too about your instincts and how like your instincts and how to, I guess, what you want to say, rely on them, right? Yeah. How do you do that?
Well, you have to trust. Trust is huge. You have to trust that you know yourself better than anyone else could know,
Mm-hmm.
and you trust that you're coming from your highest good. So that's a good way of knowing if you're following your instinct, is if you're being genuine and you're trusting yourself,
Mm-hmm.
because you're
So
perfect. God made no mistakes.
no, not one, not one. So what is your highest good? Can you elaborate on that?
Well, that's not for me to decide.
Mm-hmm.
I'll ask for, like, say I feel like I need a friend who can help me be a better mom. Like, my son's making me crazy, and I just need another mom who understands where I'm from. So I'll say,
Mm-hmm.
dear God or angels, please bring me a friend who understands my situation, or something better
Mm-hmm.
for the highest good.
Okay, so that
And
for the better good, or the
for the
highest
better
of the
good.
better good, right? So that's what it means.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so you had mentioned
'Cause,
angels, and I know your book is about angels, correct?
right. It's about loving yourself. Well, you know yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You have your environment, and you have relationships. So my book is broken up into 3 parts, and in each part I have fun activities to go through, and then I
Nice.
also have devotions. Yeah, like I have decision trees, I have word searches.
Nice.
I
That's good.
had a fun time making it, and then I'm struggling with the digital print because I want people to have the worksheets. So I think I'm on my website. I'll just let people download it who buy the digital book. They can just
Mm-hmm.
go and find the worksheets. I like to do worksheets ever since I was 5, worksheets. But
But
so,
that's fun. But that makes you interactive, and and your brain functions differently when you doing activities while you learning and reading. It kind of
yeah,
like make you more alert than just sitting there
yeah.
just reading words and getting sleepy and tired. You could just like, oh, I'm doing this and I'm learning as I do this. That's a
Mhm.
good idea. Very smart.
Thank you. Thank you. I like multi-sensory learning. And then I also have the words to ask for help. So I have devotions so you can connect with your angels with the words I provide, because I
Mm-hmm.
think a lot of people would like to connect to their angels, their higher good, their divine feminine. I mean, whatever resonates with you, you put that intention to that, and then
Mm-hmm.
you ask what you can use my words, or it's just an example. And always, if what I say doesn't resonate, please just leave it. But if it sparks something in you, you might be curious, you might benefit from it. But not everything's for everybody. But I wanted to give people who are curious, who hadn't, there's people who channel, there's people who do a lot of things, but this book's just for the common person who says, I want to be more connected to the
Mm-hmm.
help that's out there. There's a lot of craziness, and if we can just center our hearts and ask for help, it makes a big difference. And I've had experiences left and right where the angels have come in, and so I wanted to share that magic with the world. So yeah, that's my book.
That's beautiful, because I actually was following her name is Dr. Fran, and she's on YouTube, and she talks about like law of attraction and the angels and how the angels work. And I started to really pay attention to that because, we grow up knowing about angels, but not in this matter. We know that, they'll say, oh, the angels in the Bible, or the angels, just like just the pictures of angels and stuff, but not like actually what they do and how they work and how angels are like roaming. And so can you elaborate a little bit about how the angels actually work? Because I don't think a lot of people know about that. They just know about seeing angels on the walls and stuff, but they don't really put it together.
Right. Yeah, it's not like a Ouija board situation,
Right.
or it's not a woo woo. It's the angels are very subtle. I mean, some people can see colorful angels, and that's not what I've experienced. And most people that I know who have a strong connection with their angels, they hear voices. You'll hear, it won't be your voice. You can hear your own voice in your head. It'll be something else. It'll be a quick message. It'll be like a whisper. It'll be a feeling. I've had like the feeling of someone on my shoulder, like patting my shoulder, like it's okay. Nothing, the angels will never do anything that is invasive. It's always very subtle. And they won't come in unless you give them permission, unless they're protecting your life and it's not your time to go. I had one experience. I was driving to an apple orchard of North Georgia in the mountains, and I went to, my phone went off, and I looked down real quick, and all of a sudden the car just jerked back, and I did not move the car, but I was going left to center, and a truck was coming, and it was my guardian angel. I have no doubt. I even said, thank you. I was like, thank you. And because there's this peace about you. You're not freaked out. You're just like, okay. Another time in college, my boyfriend had this beater car, and we were driving downtown Milwaukee, and his brakes went out. And I wasn't scared. I knew I was going to be okay. It's like this knowingness.
Wow.
And, and the angels, when I ignored them for, Regina, 5 years. I tried to be scared and not connect with my angels, and they didn't give up. They kept talking to me through music on the radio. They would, certain songs would play. I'd think about something and a song would play, and that's the angels. The angels talk through music. They'd leave little pieces of paper in the shape of angel wings on my floor.
Really?
Yeah. Feathers are a sign of angels. Butterflies. If you see repeating numbers, like I see 1111 like almost every day.
My college roommate and my sorority sister, she knows about numbers, and she was telling me about those. And she was like, when you start seeing the same numbers repeatedly over and over again, like it means something. Like everything means something. And she would tell me about it too. Like she believes in like the I guess like 222, or like numbers that's all in sync. So I heard about this too through her.
Yeah, we're coming up on a big 222.
I see.
February 22nd, 2022.
No, what would that mean? What did that mean?
Well, okay, so we have a lot of dichotomy, which is 1 versus 1, but 2 is both sides merging together. They're bridged together into one. So it's an opportunity for us to get rid of polarity, divisiveness, to come together. And the interesting thing is there's a 0 in the middle of the year. So 0 is infinity. That's unlimited opportunities.
So do you intentionally do something on 22222, or you just kind of just live and it happens on its own?
Well, you can live and it happens on its own, but if you put an intention to a powerful day, if you subscribe to manifesting, or like you said, the power of intention, or what did you say?
What the attention to do, or
like so if I'm sorry, I got sidetracked, but if you agree, if it resonates with you to recognize that day and say, hey, I'm gonna put out there, if there's any division in my life, if there's any anything that, any relationship that's struggling, maybe I'm going to say, remove any ties that no longer serve me and let that person go in peace.
Mm-hmm.
Or let that feeling, like maybe you have a feeling that's causing judgment.
Okay.
All division is from a judgment. Like somebody has decided that they're on their side and you're on this side. And God doesn't want us to be divided. He wants us to love and accept and take care of each other. So yeah, you can use that day as a powerful place to, just focus on what could be.
Okay. That's good. I will pay attention to it. I know a lot of people will be talking about it on that day because, you're not going to experience that again in your lifetime, to have that. So I'm going to definitely look into it. I'm going to let you know about that too. So let's
Sounds
talk
good.
about, so let's go ahead and talk about your book. So if you tell everybody the title of your book and the premise of the book. What is the book about?
It's called Life of Love, A Joyful Guide to Self and Sensuality. And it takes you through getting to know yourself, bringing in light to, feed your soul and to find out what your joy is. So there's activities. And then the next part is about nourishing your body and understanding, part of consciousness is understanding that everything that you do, what's around your body, all the media you take in, the food you take in, the air that touches your skin, everything affects your consciousness, right? So it's really important to watch what you put in and around your body. So I go through that kind of thing, like the whole idea that medicine is just a Band-Aid. And if we can nourish ourselves better, we can all be more healthy. And, I think a lot of this is coming out with all the sickness we've had that, there's certain people that have been able to fight this off because they had a healthier lifestyle to start with, and it gave them a better base. So I think it's raised a lot of awareness of alternative medicines and alternative healing. So I think, if there's any silver lining to this tragedy we've gone through is that people are questioning the common narrative, that I'm just going to take a pill and I'm going to be better, because that's not what it's all. That's not going to make your garden grow, right? Like, like if you sprinkle an aspirin on your lettuce, that's not going to make your.
Good analogy. Yeah,
you got to get that soil.
Well, like you said, I think this time people got a chance to sit still for a minute and kind of really, think about things. And so, especially when you're healing, and from what I'm hearing, it's a horrible feeling to go through this COVID. So, people are just trying things that could relieve them. And it didn't give you that many options to use too many medications. That's over the counter stuff. And they have some kind of trials they're working on and doing certain things for like certain people. But the ones that have to be at home, the ones that are not that sick, but now people are starting to take zinc more. People are starting to take vitamin C more. People are taking their multivitamins now. Like a lot more.
Vitamin D. Everybody's deficient in vitamin D, and it's been that way forever. And it fights off cancer. Vitamin D helps your body like stay strong.
Yeah, vitamin D. Right. So imagine, right? Because when it first started out, they were saying, "What can you do to help?" And everybody said the first thing was zinc, C. And you remember they was all off the shelves. It was hard to find vitamin C and zinc and all that when it first started. So now people are more in tune with using vitamins. I've always been a vitamin person. I've been a vitamin person all my life. My mother gave me vitamins when I was a little kid, like literally the Flintstone vitamins every morning. So I always been doing vitamins. But my kids, especially going into the school system, with the COVID and everything, I'm like, please take your vitamin C and your multivitamin every day, because it will at least give you an immune system boost, to help fight off, whatever. So you're right. You're absolutely right about that. Yeah.
Okay. So wait, then the last part is about relationships. So that's the third part of my book is how to show up in a loving way, know your body, have great relations. It gets a little spicy, not too bad. It's G spicy.
Okay. PG-13 spicy.
There's no diagrams of that.
Okay. Okay, good. Use your imagination for that one.
Right. It's not like these books are having at the schools, but sorry.
Oh,
Yeah, so it's a fun book, and I started my podcast because I wanted to keep a dialogue going if people read my book and want to have a community. So we'll see if that takes off, and I'm
it
just really
will.
excited to share the message.
It will.
Yeah.
So how much is your book?
That's a good question. we,
We still working
we
on that. That's
We're
in the
working
work.
on that. That's one of the
Okay.
things. Well, with everything was printed in China, and I was like, well, can we print it in the U.S.? Because
Mhm.
there's the supply issue has been going on, so
Oh,
they
it's
weren't
true.
sure everything's gone up. Paper's gone up. So anyway, we're not sure the price yet. It'll probably be between $15 and $20.
Okay. Well, we
Yeah.
definitely. I would like to say again, let's talk family. We have definitely had been blessed today with Julie, and as you see on the bottom of the screen, I've been playing the scroll, and it has been the book title, the email address, and her website. So you have any additional questions, information, want to know when her book is coming out, keep up with Julie, please use the information that you see on the bottom of the screen. Made it easy for you.
It's so
So,
nice.
oh yeah, definitely. Do you have anything else you want to share before we close out this evening?
Um, just that know that you are perfect and you're a divine being of light,
Mm.
and it's no accident that you're here. So just follow your joy and share that joy. And I just wish you and your listeners all the best. And
Oh,
I
thank
really appreciate you having me on. It's been a blast. I've had a great time talking to you.
Oh, thank you. Me too. Me too. I love that, when you have spirits, you just cross paths and you learn and you just meet great people and, everybody leaves something with you, something with you. So I do appreciate you being on the show. Once again, I'm Regina Smithwick. I am the host of Let's Talk 1943. This is the Business Spotlight Edition, and you have been blessed again with Julie Henson. And we're going to go ahead and end the show. So before we do that, I always like to give you the opportunity to be on my show. This is the business edition of my show. If you have a business, a product, a service of anything you wanted to promote, and I will give you that platform by doing what I did here with Julie. So you could contact me through my information is Let's Talk 1943 at gmail.com, or my Facebook page, Let's Talk 1943. Very easy, straight across. Let's talk. So until next time, I would say God bless and thank you once again for joining us.
Thank you.